Doctor, wanted to also just get you to weigh in on the debate about the debates themselves. As you know, President Trump has said that he plans and is up for participating in a debate which would take place in about a week from now. Vice President Biden has said that he doesn't believe it would be responsible to conduct a debate with the president's health the way it is and the possibility for spread from him. What's the medical experts say?
Well, I think the president, hopefully the president continues to improve, and I think he'll be on sort of the tail end of any reasonable assumption about when he may still be infectious. He's going to be out a good amount of time, assuming he continues to improve. We don't have a lot of information about his condition on which you could sort of pinpoint exactly when he may no longer be contagious relative to what the conventions are, what we know about this virus. Look, if the president's up for it, I hope he is up for it, because it'll mean he continues to improve pretty quickly. That's difficult. A debate is a difficult forum, and so he's going to have to be in pretty good shape to do that. So hopefully he'll be able to do it.
How do you think, though, about, it's not just the president at this point. It's virtually the entire White House has now been infected. As we know, that there's virtually no contact tracing going on in the White House to begin with, so I think we don't even know. Stephen Miller, of course, testing positive just yesterday. How does that play into your calculus, though, not just of the president's own health and ability or willingness to participate in a debate, but again, as a doctor, the responsibility of dealing with this, given that you're going to have, dozens, if not hundreds of people who have to surround the president, traveling with him and whatnot?
Look, it's difficult circumstance. The White House has an outbreak right now. We're seeing third-generation spread right now. We'll see fourth-generation spread. We're seeing the people who are infected by the people who are infected. Now we're going to see the fourth generation of spread probably start to emerge over the weekend. And the third generation of spread is still going to play out over the next 2 days, maybe 3 days. You're right, they're not doing contact tracing. It's surprising that they're not. It's also surprising that they're not trying to get to the bottom of who brought this virus into the White House. I do think that they have an obligation to try to figure that out. And you can do that by sequencing the virus. I'm on the board of, obviously, Illumina, which is in the business of doing sequencing. You can sequence the different strains that you get off of patients who've been infected and look at the spread from generation to generation, try to trace it back to an index case. I do think in that setting, where someone walked the virus into the White House, probably, based on what we know, and infected really the top echelons of our government, I think we have an obligation to try to figure out where it came from. You're not going to do that unless you're doing aggressive contact tracing and sampling and doing sequencing work. And that's what we would do if there was an outbreak in another setting. You've seen CDC do this kind of work, try to trace the origins of an outbreak. I'm surprised we're not doing it at the White House. I'm surprised the National Security Council doesn't want to conduct this.
Doctor, why do you think there is no tracing going on in the White House? I ask only because so many other business leaders around the world are dealing with tracing. They've built, remarkable programs around to try to protect their employees. They're trying to create good modeling procedures. Why do you think this hasn't happened at the White House?
I think the charitable view is that they're not focused on it. They have a lot going on there right now. They don't want people in the White House distracting them during a very pivotal time. The uncharitable view is they don't want to know. They don't want the next 3 weeks to be every day a news report of someone who was infected or came down with the infection, who got it from a chain of transmission that emanated from the White House, which is effectively what the next 3 weeks are going to be. So I don't know. I have not talked to anyone who's given me any indication why this isn't going on. I've talked to people who are surprised it's not going on.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.